What's up, Bottom Nation? It's your commander in top. This is so dumb. How are you? Happy Monday. What a kinky episode we have today. Today, we have kink educators, Watts, the Safeword, Mr. Christopher, and Amp. And they are so fantastic. If you've wanted a kinky episode, this is the episode. We get into a little bit of everything, and their stories are really great. We get into hypnosis, we get into fisting, we get into sounding, we get into big kink parties at hotels and how those work, and the conferences and the leather and the everything. And more than that, it's just funny. They are funny. And also we get into sort of the generational gap between sort of the older gay community and the Gen Z community and talking past each other. I think it's just a really great episode. It's a really fun one with Breanne. So definitely check this one out. Not one to miss, I don't think. We've done an episode with them in the past if you enjoyed it. It's not on the YouTube, it's on Spotify. There's like 60 whole episodes on Spotify, actually, that are not on the YouTube. If you're a YouTube guy and you want to go check those out. And then also just a very sincere Patreon plug. The small donations really, really help for funding the special, my comedy special, which will come out in the spring. So patreon.com/WHGS. If you've been listening a while and you want to donate $1 or $3, you know, it really helps. And you can cancel at any time, guys. So if all you have is $1, we really appreciate that. And if not, maybe tell a friend about the podcast, you know, something like that. But a lot is happening behind the scenes that you don't always know about, and it just really goes very far. Was that good? Was that good for you, Bottom Nation? Was it? And then AshleyGavin.com for my tour dates. We have so many. This is coming out, January 30th? Happy January 30th. So we've got 2 dates in Vermont, Burlington and Brattleboro, Oklahoma City, Springfield, Missouri, and then Chicago, where I'm taping my special. So really crazy month coming up. So get on the text alert or the email alert. Oh, and Vancouver we just added. So get on the international stuff as well. Okay, this was long and rambling and not well formulated. But sometimes that's what life is. Okay? Have a good week.
I can give you a quickie, yeah.
I know how to fist people, but I've never taken a fist. My hole's just not that wide yet. I said that was my goal this year. We were at this convention. This hot, amazing guy comes up to me and said, I heard your goal was to be fisted. If you want to try, I'm really good and deft at it. And I was like, oh my God, this feels amazing. My mind is blown. And then he pulls out and he's like, there, you've been fisted.
Thank you guys for being here. You guys are a fan favorite for the real fans, because a lot of the fans, they will skip the episodes with men, with cis men.
What?
And anyone they perceive to be men. Yeah, they hate men.
Oh God. See, if I said that.
We're allowed to say that.
Too.
Only you can say that.
We are allowed to say it. And it drives me crazy because I think the diversity of the podcast is what makes this podcast great. Every episode is different. You know what I mean? And you're learning so many different things about the queer community.
And this is why I'm scared of women.
Oh, let's unpack that.
So
Canceled.
Yeah, let's go on. We've been on the air for 2 minutes. Why are you afraid of women?
I don't know. I don't know how to be around them. I don't know. I know nothing about women.
That's the thing about people. This is kind of lesbian specific, but the thing about lesbians, here's the thing about fucking lesbians, okay? These chicks, if they just got dick down, they would change their mind. They just need to get dick down and relax. No, the thing about lesbians is that we don't spend a lot of time with men. Thank you, I appreciate it. No one's laughing at these jokes. We don't spend a lot of time with men. Everyone thinks we hate men. We don't know men.
Right. Same with gay guys. I mean, we just got off traveling on a show with 2 dicks that are really, you don't want to fuck with them. But I don't think of them as women. I love being around them. They're great. I made the mistake of asking one of them to hold something in their purse, and I thought they were going to kick me in the nuts.
You just said so many things that the listener is going to be upset at. I can see Amp has
see,
his
don't have me
head
on
in
the
his
show.
hand.
You need to cancel.
To be clear,
Two where were their purses?
I love them, Skeeter and Squish.
to be clear,
they love them.
before you start typing the hate comments,
Don't cancel here.
they refer to themselves as.
They
Yes.
say that's what they are.
They also refer to themselves as daddies, so it's a whole lot.
I also
okay.
call myself a and you have full permission to call me a
Yay!
Me too.
but I figured that had already happened, but because of the, lesbians are very upset. In addition to not being around men, they're upset. So I just want to let them know.
I'm curious, what's the topic today?
No topic.
How much
No
we hate
topic.
lesbians and lesbians hate men, and
No, I don't. Just to be clear, I do not hate lesbians.
The name of this
I don't.
episode is Mr. Christopher Hates.
No, I'm just scared of them. I don't know how to be around them.
Amp is leaving. Amp is gone. He's taking he's got an away bag that he's leaving with.
For me, I don't know how to be around straight women.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
straight women can be annoying.
Okay, please, can we not polarize everyone in this episode? My God.
No, I actually
in
think
gay
we.
spaces. I'm sorry, I
Yes,
haven't finished my
yes.
sentence yet.
Yes, I actually think the way to do this is we now have to hate on every single group. So let's get into the non-binary territory. My God, these fucking NBs.
Straight men don't wash their asses, and that's
Straight
disgusting.
men, horrible. Gay men, the worst. All the bisexuals, male, female, non-binary. Pansexuals, what even are you? Asexuals,
God.
get the fuck out of here. No, we gotta keep going. Trans women,
No,
lives
stop.
matter. We gotta keep going.
No. Oh my God. What,
Am I in a
What
nightmare?
did you get me?
This is worse. This is terrible.
I'm sweating. Oh my God.
Okay, this is clearly a bit. Alex, don't cut any of it.
I've arrived in hell.
Actually, Hell is running a YouTube channel where you keep saying something that your followers hate.
That you're gonna
That's
get
Hell,
canceled
I
for.
think.
Yeah.
It's my worst fear. It's my worst fear. I'm going to say something wrong.
Well,
Oh, it's
Bree's
too late for
supposed
that.
to be. Yeah, no, we're done. And I'm trying to take on all of it. I put camo on for the first time, and I turned into a Republican.
I didn't know that we were. Yeah,
Okay, I thought
we
you were going to say Butch, but
we were buckling up for this episode. We had no idea. That was quite the
really
tangent,
were.
Ash.
Well, thank you
That was
guys.
something.
I feel
It
really
really was.
underdressed right now.
That was one of my favorite intros we've done in a really long time. I so enjoyed that.
Great.
Oh my God.
Me too.
And you guys were one of my favorite episodes, the first What's the Safe Word, where we talked about safe words, and Gara was so funny on it, talking about their safe word. If you go back, you have to listen to that one. It's not on YouTube. We have a bunch of episodes not on YouTube, but now they're all on YouTube. And thank you for coming back. Thank you for being here. You guys have a huge YouTube channel. Oh, wait, I was going to describe what the podcast is. My bad.
You're as good as us.
We talk and then we go round table. I'll tell a gay sex story. I'll ask you guys if you've had gay sex this week. You can answer however you want. You can tell a story from this week or from some other period of time, or we can just chat and kind of do interview style. And then Bree's going to close out with a story of hers. And it's super conversational. Please interrupt us. Clearly, I'm going to interrupt you. Well, you guys were great last time. We're in the apartment. We're having gay sex. We're having gay sex with the hosts of What's the Safe Word, Pup Amp, and Mr. Christopher, as I know
Hello.
you guys.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, you can
And you
call
guys-
me hey you, slut, hoe, honestly, anything, as long as you're calling and paying at the same time, it doesn't matter.
You can call me Daddy.
Oh, my God. The thing is that you have such a great voice.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, call me Daddy.
You were here last. You have a great YouTube channel. You have a podcast. Tell people what you guys do, because I know we have a lot of... Look, people are like, oh, Ashley, you have a gay sex podcast. There's not enough gay sex. Why aren't you doing more? What can you talk about this or that or the other thing? Here's the thing. I'm a comedian. This is a disguise. It's a gimmick. It's a comedy
That's
podcast.
what the camo's for. That's what the camo's for.
Yes, exactly. I'm dressed up as gay sex, but it's actually a comedy podcast. Oh my God, you got tricked. You like comedy. So I don't always have the answers, but you guys do.
Well, thank you for having us. A quick intro to who we are. We teach sex education on the internet, generally very queer, very gay, but we do with a kind of a mindset of like everyone in our community, and generally very, very kinky. So we have gay sex all the time, but we talk about all sorts of sex, straight, gay, queer, you name it, we've heard it, unfortunately.
And I've been directing gay porn for 30 years. I worked for a gay magazine called Drummer Magazine in the 90s. And when I met the puppy, he started this YouTube channel and kind of roped me into it.
Pun intended.
And it's just kind of taken off from there.
And you guys are a couple.
Yeah. We have a daddy
what?
and we have a daddy puppy relationship. But we're also polyamorous, so.
Yeah, you guys have an expertise in about everything that I get questions about. So it's always great to have you guys here.
Yeah.
By the way, Brie, you asked what I had for breakfast.
Yeah. You're on a different fucking level today. So I've never seen you like this before. Besides the fact that these are some of your favorite guests ever, maybe that's it. You're like zhuzhed up.
I am zhuzhed up for them, but also, as you may know, I've been having like pretty severe chronic pain issues, and I'm finally on the other side of it. I've got it really well managed now, so I'm sleeping again. I wasn't sleeping these past few months.
Lack of sleep makes you grumpy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's just like, it's debilitating, and I'm finally feeling so much better. I feel like I'm back on my A game. I was like, I don't know if the listeners really noticed it, but I was just not feeling sharp for quite a while.
Yeah.
Please, listeners, if you're on social media, let us know if you notice, because that helps mental health totally.
All the comments are like, yeah, you seemed like a real bitch lately. No wonder.
But I'm feeling so good today. And my main and I, this is my main squeeze. We made a homemade, once a week we do a big homemade breakfast thing. It's kind of like a tradition that we do, and we made homemade granola. We made granola over the weekend, and
this is exactly what I think lesbians do.
Lesbian sex.
Granola?
Yes, actually.
Who does that? It
As
comes in a box.
stereotypical as it gets. Yeah, seriously.
Oh my God, that is what I picture in my brain.
Okay, I heard of something. Can I ask y'all this?
Yeah.
I need to know. I heard about something. What people will do is they will post on Grindr and they'll be like, I'm in this hotel room and anyone who wants to come and unload in me can come. And then it'll just be like a revolving door for like the night. But like there's no interaction between the person.
No, and Grindr is so like 2000s. They've got Sniffies.
Sniffies is where it's at
Sniffies
now.
is like immediate gratification. Where they just
Sniffies is even more rapid fire than Grindr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it geolocates you to the like door
So
frame.
not to be like violent about it, but Grindr is more like of an AR-15, whereas Sniffies might be a drone strike with the accuracy.
Now you're bringing guns into this? What the hell are you?
I think we're going in just because you're wearing camouflage. I don't think you need to bring guns into this.
You've changed, Ash. You've changed. Seriously.
So Bree, Ash, let me really blow your minds.
Okay.
Not in the sexual way. So we were just at a convention last weekend. It was a sex convention called MAL, where if you leave your door propped open with like the little lock thing, people will just walk in expecting that you're going to want their
Which
load.
happened to us. A
Well,
friend
somebody
came-
went to go get ice and didn't
Stefan,
close the door.
Not me. Why are you yelling at me? Stefan left and he left the door thing unlocked. And I was like changing to go downstairs. And some rando came through the doors like
Just rock hard.
yeah, just walking right in. And I'm like, can I help you? And they're like, where's the party? I was like, up there. Get out of my room.
That's so funny.
Like, what the fuck?
I guess the whole thing is like, it's assumed consent because if you've got your door open.
Oh, they'll put sling stands in their door frame.
Wait, what?
Really?
I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm sorry.
I have no idea.
So when two gay daddies love each other very, very much, they buy what is called a sling. And a sling stand is a 4-poster metal frame that has a little little hanging swing in it that's meant to provide a better posture for anal sex.
Do you know what a sling is first?
Yeah, like a sex
what
swing.
he just
I don't
described.
think they do.
So, but you need 4 eye bolts in the ceiling to hang a sling. So you can't do that in a hotel room. So you need a sling stand, which is like pitching a tent. It's got the poles, and then you hang your sling from it. It's a sling stand, and you can travel with it.
Now, can I get it at REI? Because that's really the vibe that I'm going with today. No, I can't get it.
Camo versions, though. You can't get camo versions.
I can't go to Cabela's and get a swing stand.
So wait, people were just in their doorway of their hotel rooms, and they've pitched up this swing stand, and they're just asshole to the hall, and like
Yeah.
But they've rented the entire hotel, right? I'm assuming the whole hotel.
Yeah.
Is,
It's closed off to the public. Okay, just so no kids or minors anywhere. No, it's a convention that you have to have a wristband to be inside the hotel.
Got it.
Yeah.
That is
You know what I love about
fascinating.
this is I feel like people get, no pun intended here, like butt tight about consent things. But like
there
this
was
is
no
like
butt
a
tights
really...
there.
No, absolutely. Everyone
Very
was butt
loosey-goosey.
loose. But I think, and obviously consent is...
That'd be a good porn. Why didn't they do butt loose?
Oh my gosh, that would be.
Butt loose. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's so good. Butt loose.
I love that. The
I'm in the
musical
wrong
numbers
field.
alone, I'd be there for.
Exactly.
Seriously, we're not. I mean, obviously, no one's dad would want you to have anal sex in that small town instead of dancing.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you kidding? The preacher would be the first one in the sling.
that's probably true. That's probably true. But I just think it's like it's just a good reminder that consent can like be how you want it to be. Like it, for some
Consent
people,
is like open to the public sometimes.
Yeah. It's just such an interesting, because I think we all like kind of be like, we kind of like, is this okay? Is this okay? Is this okay? And you can develop a relationship with partner or partners that's like a way more like, open thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is like sex etiquette too. I mean, just because you're ass up in a sling with your ass out, you don't have to go up and say, do I have permission to touch you? But if the person in the sling doesn't want you to touch them, they're going to push you away.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Just move on.
And just move on.
Yeah. You don't need to have a whole conversation about it.
Yeah.
Right. I actually think like I've had
Ash
like,
has been in this situation before with her ass out to the hallway, and she can
I've been there
really?
with my ass to the public. Yes, exactly.
at one of her comedy shows, actually.
Yes. Yeah. You should really come to them. They're really fun every Sunday in New York
I see
City.
you all over Instagram. It stops my feed and I laugh all the
I
time.
love
Oh,
you.
thank you.
You use Instagram to watch people's TikToks. This one over here, and then shares it on Facebook.
I love that, though.
Why are you not supposed to do that?
No, I post
don't
them on
have
Instagram too. But I was gonna say, like, I don't have a lot of sexual trauma, but I know when I've had like weird sexual miscommunications, sometimes for me, it's actually just easier to process it if I'm just like, oh, that wasn't like a consent issue. It was like a miscommunication. And it's just easier to like not rile myself up. I'm not trying to be victim shaming here or anything like that, but I'm just trying to say like there's a whole gray area with consent where we can actually like do harm to ourselves if we... Do you guys get where I'm getting at?
Yeah, and you don't unpack it till later sometimes.
You kind of almost shame yourself where it's like, it's okay to say, oh, I've learned something about communication from this experience. And like, I'm not a bad person that this happened. And like, it's just sort of like, I didn't have a great time. And here's how I'm going to, for the future, be better about this so that I don't feel yucky afterwards. Stuff like
Well,
that.
the history also is gay guys have had nonverbal communication for ages. We used to cruise this way because it wasn't okay to be out and gay. So we would cruise each other in public spaces with simple nods and eye movements saying, come forward or not interested.
Flagging.
Flagging was another
and like
way.
hanky code and stuff like that.
So now that we're very open about it, all this communication, verbal communication, it leaves some guys going, what the fuck are we talking about? I told you with my eyes, go away.
Right.
To the point where some guys now have those little like "do not come in and clean my room" hangers that say "coming in here means that you have consented to have sex with me" at hotels. Like, no joke.
That's so fascinating.
See, and it just makes it easier.
Bree is like,
So that's what that means when I go to a hotel.
This is a whole new world for me.
So
I'm,
weird
like,
that gay
fascinated.
guy came in and railed me just because I wanted rooms. Or
Oh, dang. I had the room service hidden and I had to come rail me on the outside. Gosh, dang it.
Yes. I hope I was being clear for the listener. Obviously, like there's definitely things that like are very clearly like that lacked consent. But I'm just trying to say there's so
And
much
that's not what
nuance.
we're saying. You know, consent
Yeah.
is very important. But
Yeah. There's just
Consent is-
so many pieces of it, and sometimes I feel like we can be really hard on ourselves for bad sexual experiences, and you don't have to bring that your own shame to like a situation that you can like. Anyway.
Sure.
We're in the apartment. We're having gay sex. I didn't introduce Breanne. We're half an hour into the recording.
It's all right.
That's okay. She won't hear this for another 3 seconds.
I thought
That's fine.
Bree was like into it. I don't know.
I'm actually Gavin, cis gay white woman, she, her pronouns. I've got a bunch of tour dates up here. Come see me live. I'll text you when I'm in your city. We've got New York every Sunday. I'm taping a special. I'll email or text you when my special comes out. You can sign up for all these things at ashleygavin.com. And then, as always, sometimes the Chancellor of Canceller, my Chancellor.
No, go with it. I love this bit. Go. Give me more Gilbert Gottfried again. I love that.
That's who that is.
Gilbert Gottfried. Iago, hold on. Breanne!
That was the end of the bit.
Williamson.
Just my name. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I wanted to do a bird watching riff, but I don't know the birds in Canada. What are the birds? What are the big birds in Canada?
I think Big Bird's in America.
I think it depends where you're from in Canada. Yeah, seagulls, crows.
Alex, can you look up the national? Oh, the crow. Oh, yes, Edgar Allan Poe. The crow. Right? That's the raven. That's a fucking raven.
I am so
I fucked up.
confused.
Winning.
I'm a lesbian. My pronouns are she, her.
No, I'm not done, Brie. I'm not
I'm trying to take the hook out and end this real quick.
No.
We are leaning in, Bree.
Alex, can you tell me the bird of a prominent bird, a Canadian bird, please?
The national bird of Canada, according to Whiskey, is the gray jay.
The gray jay?
There's like, I've never even heard of that. Canadian goose.
You're almost
Canadian
30,
goose.
right,
Canadian
Bree?
goose. Yeah, I'm 30.
Oh, Canadian goose.
Yeah, Canadian goose.
Oh, well, with gray jay, I would say this 30-year-old went from blue jay to gray jay down there. Stay away from her ancient cloaca. It's Breanne Williamson.
Woo!
Sorry I called you old, Bree. A gray jay just made me think of gray hair, and that's where I went.
It's all right, Ash. I'll forgive you for that. Not for anything else you've said this episode, but I'll forgive you for that. I'm a lesbian. My pronouns are she, her. And I'm from Canada, and I don't birdwatch. And I don't condone others birdwatching either.
If you're a real fan, you know Bree has been kind of shamed by the birdwatching community that apparently is super into this show.
Yeah.
That's foul.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's when we need the soundboard for boom boom.
Do you guys mind introducing yourselves? I know you kind of
Oh,
already
yeah.
Didn't we do this?
No, let's
Yeah,
do it again.
kinda.
Okay.
Do
For
it again.
editing.
All right. Okay.
it
Hello,
again.
I'm Amp. Pronouns he, him. I talk about gay sex far too often.
And I'm Mr. Christopher, also he, him, or daddy. And I also talk about sex too often.
And while we don't have a wall of tour dates, we do have a wall of dildos. So like,
Yeah.
just as important.
Pick your
really.
size.
Yeah,
How the fuck do you guys get away with this shit on YouTube?
We don't. We're demonetized everything. We're literally suing them over this.
Oh,
Are you suing them?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
good for you guys.
Is it a bunch of YouTubers or is it just you guys?
It's a class action, yeah.
Class action lawsuit.
Wait, how
going
do
for
I get
4
in on? I
years.
want to be in on it.
It's too late to get in on it, but yeah.
Me at a sex party.
Listener, are you listening to our Patreon exclusive You're Having Gay Sex? Well, here's a sneak peek of what you missed last week.
The story is short, but it still makes me laugh even to this day. I shot a dildo at my mom.
Shot Like, is that
T-shirt cannon?
No, there's more.
Okay, I was like, is it done?
It's just a teaser.
We just got to figure it out. The logistics.
Work backwards from this. I shot a dildo at my mom. All right, well, was she trying to
Some sort of
destroy
escape
the White
room.
House? Did you take her out in some sort of escape room? There are 4 bonus episodes a month of this series, You're Having Gay Sex, on our Patreon at the $10 tier, and then 2 at the $5 tier. Patreon.com/WHGS. What's the suit? Are you allowed to talk about it?
I can give you the quick details.
It's just dragging on forever. So yeah,
it's been going on for 4 years. Essentially just calling out YouTube for saying they're going to be better about queer content and not demonetize it across the board. They haven't gotten better. We have the receipts, and we have a call with one of their execs in the monetization department pretty much saying, hey, we can't approve this thing that you posted because of the gay thing in it. And we said, so you're being discriminatory against the LGBT community? And they said, no, not the LGBTs. We're discriminating against the gay in it.
The sex.
The gays just existing, not the sex, just the gays existing in the content.
Oh.
And we have this on video. So
good luck.
When we said, hey, this is a problem, they said, well, we'll fix this one. And I mean, there's anecdotal evidence across the board that they're very homophobic.
My question is, and this is why it's so important, and I'm not just saying this because I do it, but like most of the creators that you're watching do this, we have Patreons and OnlyFans
and we
and
can
all
do it
this
without
stuff.
Patreon.
Because it's like, and it's extra work to run those things, just by the way, to get you that content. You know what I mean? But the reason we have it is because, there's a lot of discriminatory practices that are really hard to put into words and explain to people. But like, I know for me as a comedian, I'll say something that feels, kind of sexual on TikTok, for example, and it'll get taken down. Whereas if I go watch a straight comedian do something very similar, it just stays up and it'll get millions and millions and millions of views. And you're like, why? And I don't know the exact answer, but I know that there's a bias from the moderators, from the people who review this across the board, that it's an internal bias. I don't think it's like like a fucking scheme to get us, but like most people are a little homophobic and they don't realize that when they watch me, it feels more sexual because they're not used to a gay woman being sexual than when they watch a straight male comedian be sexual. You know what I'm saying?
Have you tried looking less like a lesbian?
I could take the camo off. I could stop with the backwards hat. I've thought about fully transitioning just so that I can make these jokes. But like, no, I mean, obviously, if I were a straight dude, maybe I would, you know what I mean? Like, it's insane. But I think within what you guys do. Oh, sorry, Bree, do you want to jump in?
No, I was just going to say, I have a hashtag on TikTok that is gay girl tip, because I do a lot of like gay girl tips, experience with coming out and stuff. And I want to say like 99% of those, not that it should matter, are very PG, mostly because I'm being very cautious with the algorithm and everything.
Yes.
And you have to, right?
TikTok is probably the most conservative
It's
one.
so conservative. And my hashtag got banned recently. And just out of nowhere, I can't use that hashtag. And if I use gay girl tip on my video, which is like been going, like I have like upwards of 250 videos like that, then it gets pulled. The video gets pulled. And like, what's wrong with that hashtag?
It's not our fault that people are searching porn with the phrase gay girl. That's why.
Yeah,
it's not
that's
us.
why.
It's the straight people looking for gay girl porn. That's why.
Clarify, did you say gay girl tits or gay girl tit?
Tip. Like tip of the day.
Oh, okay. I think tits would get you in trouble.
You're like, well, you're really trying it with tits.
Why is all my tit content getting all I'm doing is freeing my nipple? Well, my question for you guys was, with the sex ed kink related content, are there straight creators basically doing the same thing as you that are having an easier time with this? Like, I'm curious about that. Yeah.
There are videos that are literally cut and dry, like cut and paste, same topic, same idea, but it's two straight people talking about it that have, millions of views. You got like straight women trying on lingerie that have millions of views, totally monetized, and we'll try on like underwear or a harness and it'll be demonetized or even age restricted,
Yeah.
And then they suppress our channel and don't
It's
notify people.
infuriating because they tell us that we talk about sex all the time, but the weird thing, they being like homophobic straight people, but the thing is that like their sexual culture is not as sexualized as ours, so they can't even see past this veil of like.
But they talk about sex too. They just don't want to hear about our sex.
That's what I'm saying is like.
I was going to say, I think their sexual culture is just as loaded as ours, but.
Yeah, they just think that theirs is normal.
Well, it is. It's.
Yeah.
They just wish they were the cum dump that was being loaded, you know?
But
the jealousy
exactly,
is what's
it's
fueling
like
it.
it's just this weird. It's just super weird. It's sort of like, you know, when on Modern Family, it took like 7 seasons or something to see the first gay kiss between the gay couple, and how and even for me, like I have to do a check on my own homophobia where it's like I watch that and it does feel more like it has more gravity behind it simply because we just don't see it that often, and I have my own internal stuff to deal with. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean it's more sexual than all of the straight kissing we saw for the first 6 seasons of Modern Family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yep.
it's just totally insane.
See, I feel the lesbians were way ahead of that. Ellen coming out on the show, or her kiss on that show.
Well, then she got canceled. I mean, the show got
Totally other reason than being gay. Let's be clear.
right. Just in case you're a younger listener, Ellen's original cancellation was for being gay, not for being a cunt.
Oh, wow. Can we say that?
I said it.
Like,
Can we
damn
say
it,
that?
another word I can't say.
I love that you're like, these two dykes. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Jesus.
Well, we're 40 minutes into the episode. Maybe we should do some abridged gay sex. We talked about a lot of gay sex, but like just
What's a bridge sex? It's just talking about your sex, but quickly.
yes.
Oh, okay. It's like, is that
Or
a
did you have sex
position
on a
I don't
bridge?
know?
Did you do an Eiffel Tower maybe?
Is that like doggy style?
I'll start with a quickie, and then they'll do a quickie, and then you'll do a quickie.
Okay.
I'll start. You know what? I'll start.
You got a quickie?
I'll start. But I can give you a quickie. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's get
Okay.
into it. Quickie.
I'm done. Just get it under the table. So let's get it going. So we just got back from MAL last weekend. It stands for Mid-Atlantic Leather. It's a big old leather, gay, kinky, queer convention.
I love that it's the Mid-Atlantic Leather Convention. Like, you guys
It
are.
was in DC.
It just reminds me of like every other industry. It's like from The Office, the Mid-Atlantic region of the paper sales, but this is for like leather daddies and puppies and babies and
Well,
shit.
it's because it is a contest system, so that is the Mid-Atlantic region contest.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Imagine a Miss America pageant, but for
In chaps.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, leather. Yeah, go ahead.
What region are most of the winners coming from? Is the Mid-Atlantic like kind of like, are they?
They're everywhere. They come from. It is international. So like
Mid-Atlantic is Mid-Atlantic titles.
the ones in the Mid-Atlantic region.
But I guess what I'm saying is like, but if it's going up to national, who takes the crown frequently?
Well,
Is
that's at IML, which is in Chicago.
No, that's international. Do you know what national means? This is the longest quickie. Anyway, it's a pageant. People don't like to call them pageants, but it's like a Miss America pageant for leather.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're vending this
interesting.
thing. We're working a leather booth. We're selling chastity devices and dildos and all sorts of things. I ended up posted on Instagram, and I had a hypno friend be like, hey, I'm going to be there. So I take my friend up to my room. Daddy's off getting fisted. And we do this hypno session where like I am so deeply put under, and I came about 7 or 8 times. The
Back to
bed
back?
was soaked.
Oh,
Yeah, back
he
to
leaks
back.
like a sieve when he goes under. And he
When you can unlock your
Like-
brain and your
like,
mind,
it just
come
drips and
repeatedly.
drips out of his chastity cage. It soaks his jocks.
I
come
am
without
here
touching
for
myself.
it, and I love it, and
I love this.
I don't feel that granola coming back up right now.
Oh, that's right. You have a cum issue. I forgot about that. It's not cum. It's pre-cum.
Long
It's
story
a lot
short.
more
Oh,
watery.
it's pre-cum.
Long story
Lovely.
short, I did that all
Do you
on
see the color draining
the
from my face right now? Again, I'm not trying to shame. I know a lot of our listeners, they've got pre-cum, and I love you for it. I love
Lots
you
of
for
pre-cum.
it.
Anyway,
love
long
you for
story
your
short, this is the longest quickie. We ended up getting 2 beds, thankfully, and I played on the other
Otherwise,
bed.
one would be crusty.
Yeah, so I played on one bed. We slept on the other one. It was all good, but that bed was soaked.
Yeah, but when it dries, it's not so soaked. It's very hard.
Wait, 7 or 8 times in what time period?
In
Hour.
like 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
Oh, that was short. That is a quickie.
That's a lot especially for like a cis guy. Like that feels like
Thanks.
Congrats.
Yeah, that is incredible.
Thanks. Now, I go under and do a lot of hypno it helps me to relax, but also like erotic hypno. When you can unlock that kind of that part of your brain, it's nice. It feels great. And it's very, you feel like no inhibitions when you're
Where
playing.
can people learn about erotic? I didn't even know this was like a
There's
thing.
this whole show called What's the Safe Word?
Good plug. Speaking of plugs, I had a quickie fisting scene. Do you want to hear that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So ironically, on our podcast, we did our New Year's resolutions. And I know how to fist people, but I've never taken a fist. My hole's just not that wide yet.
Put that on a shirt.
So I said that was my goal this year.
That was your New
And-
Year's resolution to take a fist?
Yeah, I want to take a fist this year.
Okay.
So we're
Well,
working
it's
the
only
mood.
January, so
Well, I know, and I've already gotten my goal met.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Spoiler alert.
But so I put that out there, and you know how you do these podcasts, and you kind of feel like you're talking to each other. So I didn't really think anyone was listening or paying attention. We were at this convention. This hot, amazing guy comes up to me and said, "I heard your goal was to be fisted. If you want to try, I'm really good and deft at it and have small hands."
Can you do it in your sexy voice?
My sexy voice.
Yeah, do it.
I
Do it.
Do
can't
it.
do it on the spot. So he said, "If you want to be fisted, come up to my room, boy, and I'll put you in the sling. We'll get you nice and relaxed and poppered up. I'll get it right at the edge of your hole."
Oh, okay.
I love that. On the spot too. That was a lot of pressure. And you nailed it.
What's the safe word for this? The safe word is
Anyway.
pigeon for this one, and pigeon.
Pigeonhole.
Yeah.
Anyway, so went up there. He also had a friend in this.
Be careful. Be careful.
I can't say it.
No, you can say it, but like be respectful.
I was being respectful. So he had a friend who had, and he was an amputee. He had half an arm. So
I didn't think we could get kinkier, and yet you keep introducing
challenge us.
things to me on this show that I'm like, what? How? Where do you?
the hardest thing about fisting is getting past the knuckle of the thumb, and because it just flares out. So he was able to go in without me having to do the knuckle part.
Right.
And it was amazing. And so I was in heaven. So then the other guy could come in and slide right in, and I didn't realize.
He fluffed you?
He kind of fluffed me with his arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
So,
interesting.
and this all
This
happened in
is so
20
crazy
minutes.
to me because I just did this stand-up set in Dallas where in the front row I had 2 different people who with amputees and also a professional prosthetist, someone who makes prosthetics. So I had like an expert in the room.
Not a prostitute.
And no. And I would be and once again canceled. Sex worker. But
At this point, Ash, you're canceled on this episode, so you might as well just keep piling
no,
on.
I actually think I'm cancel coaching right now. I think I'm the chancellor today.
Okay.
I'm the hall monitor. But and the youth in the booth. No, what I was gonna say is the prosthetist told me because I was like, oh, what's the respectful term for someone who has a amputation? And what do you refer to it as? And she said residual limb. And I was like, well, that's like really, so
I
you
did
got
not know that.
fisted by this quote unquote, residually fisted by the residual limb. And
Yes.
then
I've
I went
never
around the
heard that.
room being like, well, what do you, yeah, exactly. Because it's like one of these things where, you know, able-bodied people, we get really uncomfortable talking about it because we don't always know the terms until you're like face to face with having to use it and you don't know what it is.
And that's why the puppy said careful when I started
Right,
to
exactly.
talk, because I never know the right thing to say.
So the term is residual limb, is what I learned.
Okay,
But
residual
when
limb,
I
got it.
asked the people in the audience, I was like, well, that's like a very technical term. What do you call yours? Everyone had a different thing. He called his nublet. The guy called his nublet. And the woman called hers her shorty. So I don't know what.
It's like guys naming their penis.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. It was such a fun show, and whatever. So, but some people say stump, some people say stumpy. It really depends on the person. So, I don't know which listener this is for, but if you would like to ask, what do you want me to call your residual limb? That is the correct way to ask.
That's
and
good
if
to
I'm
know.
wrong about
And
this,
now we
write
know.
in. But I learned it from a prosthetist, so I trust her. But anyway,
Bless
sounds
you.
like you got
So the end of my fisting story was that he got
the
in.
end of the fisting story.
And I was like, oh my God, this feels amazing. My mind is blown. And then he pulls out and he's like, there, you've been fisted.
So declimactic. You're
And
like,
did you give him a round of
So
applause?
20
Did you give him a round
minutes
of
and I'm
applause?
back in the lobby having drinks with the puppy so I was like, oh, I didn't know fisting could be so quick.
oh
Great.
my gosh. Yeah, usually there's a lot of build up. You were in and out quick. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Have you done
right,
any
right.
fisting, Brie? I've fisted.
I have too.
Have
Not
Just
received, but given.
as me
Is
as well.
fisting common in the lesbian community?
I don't think it's that common.
I shake my head yes. I'm like,
Oh.
I think it's more common than you'd think.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you have holes to choose from.
Yeah.
For
totally.
sure. Oh, for sure. I've never fisted a butthole.
Yeah, making the puppy uncomfortable. But I'm thinking that it would be a
Yeah,
big thing.
you know,
Yeah.
for cis women or people with vulvas and stuff like that, you've got options there. But I found with fisting, you really gotta get them. You gotta get them loose, dude. They gotta be.
Yeah. That's where the poppers help.
Yes, poppers. Do y'all find when you go to these conventions because you're so well like known in this space that like everyone wants to fuck you?
I wish. But
Here's the thing, Brie. It happens to me all the time. You have no
Shut up.
idea.
Thank you for
This is
taking our
not
question.
directed at
Ashley,
you.
thank you for taking our question.
you know what's weird is people won't approach us because they think we're too busy, or they think we're too educated or experienced.
No holes in their
that-
schedule.
So I try to now, I'm embracing young doms, like the 25, 26-year-olds, because I'm like, you could make mistakes with me. You can hurt me and I'm fine. So I try to pay it forward by
Kind of teaching.
playing with younger doms right now.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay.
That's really actually
fisted
quite
forward.
sweet. I
Yeah.
think there is something that also like is kind of in this is like intimidating conversation territory because it's like high, I guess I feel like on TikTok it's highly cancelable, but I don't think we don't talk about it a lot, but the age thing in the gay community is actually really important. Like a lot of people do want to a lot of baby gays might want to experiment with someone a little bit older than them because they want someone experienced because they have just no
I love older
there's
women. I
no
love older
education out there. There's no one to talk to. Like it feels like it weirdly you have like without a grooming aspect because that's not what I'm saying. It's almost like a gay mentor. You know what I mean? Both romantically and sexually and friendship.
Well, and we're losing our queer culture and gay history too, because we don't. Actually, the older generation doesn't know how to educate the younger generation of what we've gone through, like AIDS, the activism, even everything that's politically happening right now. I don't feel the younger generation is prepared for because they've had it good all this time.
And
Right,
yet-
exactly.
So they didn't have to fight for it. So that's why we started a second YouTube show called On Guard Cigar Salon, which is 4 kinky gays, all my age. And we sit around and we talk about our history. We talk about what we see now.
Bathhouses.
We smoke cigars and look ultra hot.
Yeah.
And
That's to be debated. But
It's one of these things it's hard to talk about and it's hard to demonstrate because it's couched in a problematic time. Like we're talking about hanky code and we're talking about nonverbal communication because you couldn't have open conversations with enthusiastic verbal consent in public because it had to happen like so privately. And so it's like this weird generational gap. And like in some ways, Mateo Lane actually has such a funny joke about this. In some ways, it's like the gap is the trauma. There's just like less and less trauma, and it's so hard to think like with it's just a different world, and so it can be hard to relate to each other. And I think on the younger side, people are like, oh, this is so problematic, whereas on the older side, people are like, you have no fucking idea what these people went through to get you to this place. So but if we could all come together, it would be very, very nice. Bree, you look like you wanted to jump in.
Keep in mind, not only is there a generation gap, we're missing a generation. AIDS wiped out a huge portion of a generation that could educate right now.
Wow.
And so now it's the younger gays getting their information off the internet and older gays going, why do these kids not know where we came
and
from?
older gays being very, very against trying to learn TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they don't know how to use
No, but I do
technology.
I think there is like a point to the older gay listeners, like we are moving forward and you do kind of have to listen a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I'm
a lot
with
of
you on
them
that.
are like, oh, all this language. And it's like, you gotta,
the puppies taught me so much. I would be in a cloud of
Cigar smoke.
misinformation if I didn't have the puppy correcting me constantly. Constantly.
No, well, that's not fair.
Listener, one of the best ways to support this podcast is to come see me live, okay? It's a really great way to just support the whole team and everything that we do here. So get on my text list or my email list. It's international, both of them. AshleyGavin.com. Go sign up, and I'll literally text you when I'm in your area. So you don't have to hear all these plugs. You can skip right by them. Don't even worry about your city. Just get on one of those two things, and I will let you know, okay? Because there's a lot of cities coming, and I just remaking this announcement over and over again. We all think it's annoying. You do. I do. Get on the text list, you piece of shit. Should I do my quickie, Bree?
Yes. I want to hear a lesbian quickie.
Okay, here's a lesbian quickie.
What do you guys do?
Well, I'll tell you my exact formula for a quickie with my main. But my exact because we both like to give. But my exact formula for a quickie with my main, and I've said this before, is 69 for a little bit. Because we both enjoy giving. That's the fluff, right? That gets us turned on.
Okay.
And then that's usually followed. She likes to be fingered, like out clitorally. So I'll like finger after that. And then what I can come a bunch of different ways. So then we close with like
I'm
the
easy.
big closer is
Okay.
You only use fingers?
well, she likes fingers better than oral. I like both. I like, oral a lot, or like
You don't use
some
any
tripping.
toys? Have you tried electricity?
I don't use any toys. I'm so vanilla, and no shade to the vanilla folks. Vanilla is a great ice cream flavor, okay? Classic, the foundation of so much. But yeah, I'm pretty vanilla. That's a quickie for me.
I mean, I'm surprised you start with 69ing. That's such like a interesting.
I know, we
beginning.
start with 69.
I don't know why it's interesting.
Isn't that
to me.
so funny for
Is 69 just licking each other?
yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Do you not know what 69ing is? You teach sex.
I don't do it a lot. I'm usually, if I'm either dom or sub, so I'm either giving or receiving.
When you're so kinky, you've forgotten medium level kinky. You've forgotten intro to kinky with 69.
So 69 seems like a very equality-driven sex act to me, because you're both getting exactly the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So
and he's just about getting.
I'm more
and not
about
giving.
dom sub control. So one's in control and one's taking
Right.
it. Or reverse that.
Well, we both
So I don't 69 a lot.
we both get turned on by giving. So it's like a good way to get it's sort of
both.
counterintuitive. So you give
Interesting.
it feels like we're both
I'm learning
receiving,
so
but really
much.
we're both giving. Does that
Totally.
make sense?
And getting.
But I will say with fingering is so important, and we really if you're straight or bi and you're in a sort like you gotta finger, you gotta bring back fingering.
Do you do what guys do into fisting? Do you manicure and make sure your nails aren't sharp?
You gotta
or do
have.
you-
Well, if
Yes.
you're doing internal fingering, like penetration, you gotta have
So
short
you are
nails.
careful about your fingers and hands.
Yeah, for sure.
And do you use lube?
Well, not if we've 69. We're good to go.
That's just spit. I told you spit was lube.
Spit is not lube.
I know this is gonna sound crazy, but women, people with vulvas, we actually have a natural lubricant.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have the ability to lubricate yourselves.
Yes.
We are a
Oh my
self-lubing.
God.
We are a self-lubing
You're
device.
self-lubing. Oh my God. That would be so great. Could you imagine if guys' asses were self-lubing?
Yeah.
I'm learning so much.
I think a lot of people use lube, but we don't use lube. But I will say, if you're fingering, you got to be careful, because here's what happened to me. This is my quickie. Me and Maine, we love ordering in sushi from our local sushi place.
You don't eat it while you're fingering.
No,
right?
that's not what's happening.
Okay.
Here's where the chopsticks come into play.
I was gonna say, I'm wondering how this correlates with fingering dangers. The sushi beginning.
The sushi is gorgeous.
Well, we were going out. We were going out to do something after we ordered in the sushi. So we were like, but we were both kind of horny. So we were like, oh, can we fit something in? So we were like, sure, yeah, let's do it. Oh yeah, and we had ordered shishito peppers. Do you guys like shishito peppers?
Yeah, I love them. Oh no,
You know where this is
though.
going.
I do. It sounds great.
Yeah. So we were eating shishito peppers, which is kind of like a finger food.
Yeah.
And I may have forgotten to thoroughly wash my hands.
It's like figging.
What?
What's that?
It's like figging.
What's figging?
What'd you call me?
It's figging is when you take the skin off of ginger root and you shove it up someone's ass.
Oh, I thought you were about to give us a recipe. I thought we took a hard turn.
A recipe for disaster.
I literally we went from a kink channel.
You make a little butt plug out of a ginger root,
Okay.
and then their hole burns.
Okay, well, this was
So you were doing it with shishito peppers.
with shishito peppers. I don't know if ginger,
that-
I don't know why they go with
that's
ginger
creative.
as opposed
I-
to something else.
Huge props.
So
That's great.
I had the shishito peppers, and then I started touching her, and she was like, Ashley, did you wash your fucking hands? And I was like, maybe not. I may have forgotten to wash my hands before the fingering. And she had to go in and give it a good rinse. We had to get a good rinse in. I washed my hands.
It's like the eye wash station in science class, but she's just doing that up her vulva.
She's got a puss wash station. I have a puss wash station in my.
Do all lesbians have that?
Yes, we all have a puss wash station.
Wow.
And it burned, and that is my quickie.
I am going to be filled with so much misinformation from
Seriously.
this show. I'm going to repeat this everywhere.
Lesbians love shishito peppers. That's what you should say on your
Okay, I knew it. I knew it.
Bree, did you have a quickie that you wanted to share?
Okay, I wanted to share because y'all were talking about your conventions and stuff. I had such a breakthrough when I was probably about 20 years old. I went to my first sexpo here in Vancouver. And
That's so young though, Bree. 20.
Really? I don't know. I think that's pretty old.
Legal.
No,
legal?
I don't know. I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I'm like impressed. Like I never would have been brave enough to go to a sexpo.
I feel like I've always been
The inflection was kind of judgmental, though.
Yeah, it was. I feel like I've always been like very hypersexual, I would say, in comparison to a lot of my peers. And then, but I was always like very like pushed down or judged about that. Like from Ash, like Ash just did, kind of similar to that vibe. And
Now we know the root of the problem. Got it.
And so I feel like I had like a lot of shame surrounding sex or like my thoughts about sex. And then it's always
Everyone does.
right. And then I had this coworker that I think felt like a safe space because they were out of my regular friend group. So we would talk at work and it would be like totally separate than like everyone I went to high school with kind of vibe. And they were like, hey, I'm going to this like sexpo with a few of my friends. Do you want to come? It's like a convention. And I was like, what? That happens? Like, what is that? So of course, like I was so curious and I went. And I remember just being so amazed at how like kind and open everyone was. And I think it actually changed me as a person sexually and like empowered me in a way that I don't know if I hadn't had that, if I would have been as open about being gay. Like it just really in a weird way felt like my first really safe space. And it was like,
were you out at the time, Brie?
I was out to like close friends, but not like on the internet or anything like that. I think there was still a lot of shame involved. So to go to a space where people, it wasn't just that they were talking, I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't that they were talking about it in a way that is like, it's okay to be gay. Like it's okay to like sex. It was just so normal. It was so normalized. So it wasn't this big like.
They were giving you permission.
Yeah. It wasn't, no one made it a big deal.
It's very liberating and freeing to be able to be yourself with no shame.
Yeah. And then I remember we were sitting in the front row because they had all these different demonstrations go on. And this woman came on stage and she's like, okay, I'm going to show you how I squirt. And I was like, ah, and it like changed me forever. I was just like,
wow.
The fact that someone was this open and just like, it was all positive and it, I don't know, it just was so cool. So I think it's like one of those weird things that people behind closed doors think is like some, I don't know, everyone has preconceived conceptions. And for me, I didn't have any sex there, but I've never felt more sexually empowered by being there. Do you know what I mean?
That's so cool.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it harder because women, you're brought up a certain way to not be sexual or be objectified
both.
in a way?
For me, definitely.
It's harder because guys, they'll get off to anything.
Yeah. I think for me.
So I'd imagine that'd be very freeing, especially for lesbians.
Oh yeah. And I mean, for me, it was the double side of being, I was ashamed that I was gay. And then I felt ashamed that I liked sex because I feel like at least in the community that
you enjoyed sex.
Yeah, that I enjoyed it. Because at least in the community that I was brought up in, it was very much...
Well, Brie, it is disgusting that you do that. But
Jesus. How do you have a show?
I think let's reel back the judgment just a little bit.
It's fine for me to have gay sex this week.
But not for me.
Not for you. No, I think.
Did you learn how to squirt from that? That's what I want to know.
I can't, but I've tried. I can't, but put it this way. I don't know if it ingrained something in me that now I really like when people can. Like, I feel like it was like a changing moment. So now I'm like, oh, if someone can squirt, I'm like, it's a vibe.
God, what an accomplishment. It makes me, even when it's easy for them, it makes me feel good about myself that they do it.
I love it.
I have so many questions, though. Is this an anatomy thing or is it just a thing that you can train? I've never seen it in person as a gay man. So
the issue...
Can every woman squirt?
The issue with like vulvas and vaginas and clitorises is that they're so scientifically unexplored. It's really, I would say we don't really know what is going on, but it seems like some people are really able to squirt pretty easily and other people learn how and some people just never do. And I've tried.
I've given it a go.
Yeah.
I want to know how you've tried. What do you do? Do you just put your mind into it?
I just manifested. I was visualizing like the fountain in Las Vegas. You know what I'm talking about at the end of all the movies?
Yeah, that's my favorite thing in Vegas.
You're supposed to like bear down when you're coming, apparently. Like you're supposed to like push out of your vulva when you're coming.
Bear down.
Yeah, like bear.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there bears in the lesbian world? Or is that just
you call in a bear. You're like, any bears in here? I'm trying to squirt.
Can lesbians be bears? Is there a bear lesbians?
I don't know, actually. I've never met a lesbian bear, but I'm sure there's something for everybody.
Diesel maybe. You know? Leather.
Yeah. But I know that some people think it's the Skene's gland, which like you can stimulate from the inside of a vagina, like on the wall, like the inside wall or whatever. So, but ultimately we are not educators. We have I would not say take any of this seriously, what I'm saying right now, listener. Like, but the bottom line is that it's just really unexplored.
Forget everything you've heard today, listener. Thanks for being here.
If you listen to
Erase
this podcast,
from your minds.
just dismiss it. Yeah.
I'm repeating all of this, what lesbians love.
Okay, can you just repeat the last 5 minutes?
Shishito peppers, squirting is the norm.
Bears. Well, I would say
Bears. Lesbian bears.
I had a thought before we got into in the squirting part of it, but like I hear from when I do my shows on the road, the staff always at the comedy club always says to me that every time my crowd is it's just fluid everywhere and they're cleaning up and they're like,
crazy.
what is this mess? They always say to me, they're like, your fans are the nicest people we've had. Like, please come back. They are the kindest people.
Because they're usually respectful.
And yes, and I've learned from other people who do events that big queer groups of people just tend to be better at events that were very kind and respectful. And I think there is something about people who've been shamed in regular society that when we finally get to all be together, we're just really happy and nice. I think.
No. The hotel staff at this convention loves us, even though we're running around bare-assed and in all sorts of costumes. The people cleaning the rooms, they're making the most money they've made all year because we tip well.
Right.
I leave a 20 every day.
That's nice.
on
That's
the bed
great
sheets
that people do
for
that.
his crusty, leaky sheets.
I think I'm just bringing it up because if you're like thinking about going to one of these things solo, people are going to be very kind to you. I think you will find that people want to get to know you. They will say hello. You know, I understand if you're anxious, but this will be a really fun experience for you to try and become a part of these communities because we are really welcoming.
Because there's a commonality. You're all in this space and environment enjoying it together.
You mean camaraderie?
Camaraderie.
Both.
Camaraderie, if you will.
And we haven't
lots
had
of
those spaces, so I think people are like extra aware of like making people feel welcome and kindness. Anyway, we always learn this was just like rapid fire in kink. But let's do butt plugs. Tell the people one more time your new podcast, your old podcast, your YouTube channel, all the things. What are you working on? What do you want people to know?
Sure. If you Google us, what's the safe word? You can find us just about everywhere. You can look for our YouTube channel called What's the Safe Word, our podcast called What's the Safe Pod, just to keep the SEO different, and our most newest one called On Guard Cigar Salon. And that is where Daddy and his friends all talk about some new age topics with kind of an older age or an old guard perspective.
We do a lot of history.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's great. I love it. Bree, what about you?
You can find me anywhere at Breanne Williamson, and you can find my other podcast at I Can Explain Podcast, and that's it.
Listen to it, you piece of shit. Listen to Breanne's other stuff. Support the people on this podcast, okay?
You'd make a great humiliation dom.
Oh, there's a reason people love me. I didn't know that my fans were coming to get screamed at specifically, and I've learned that recently, and now I don't feel so bad yelling at them.
That's like, I feel like people with that kink would love your shows.
I've seriously tapped into something, and I didn't
do
mean to.
people call you daddy when you do it?
I don't like being called sexually. I don't like being called daddy. But sometimes people call
Socially?
me. Sometimes people call me mommy. Sometimes people call me daddy. Sometimes
Wait, do you like mommy?
I don't care. I just want them to buy tickets.
Mommy sounds too maternal for me. I couldn't call
I like
anyone
daddy.
mommy.
Well, anyway,
Where can they find you, Ashley?
Yeah,
Where can they find you?
AshleyGavin.com. Go sign up for my text alert. It got a little weird.
She's
in
a
here
little
for a second.
flustered. She's a little flustered over here.
I'm a little flustered. Someone talk about cum. Someone talk about cum.
He leaks like a sieve.
Okay,
Did
thank you,
I
thank
mention
you. I feel
that?
much
that
better
if
now,
you
yes.
eat pineapple, that your cum tastes better.
Okay,
yeah,
thank
that's
you,
true.
thank you.
Oh,
All right,
No asparagus before water sports.
we're done. Thanks for listening. My special is coming out very soon. Please consider donating $1 at patreon.com/WHGS or coming to see me live. We also have our live show, our WHGS variety show that we do every now and then. We'll have a trailer for that coming out soon. It's going to be a fun one with all kinds of guests. What am I talking about, Alex? Oh, I need to have a gay thought. I don't know. Do you have any gay thoughts right now? Don't shake your head. Don't shake. Okay. Well, it just feels a little bit like, oh, what are you hiding? Oh, you've never had a gay thought? Come on. That it's gay that you haven't had a gay thought. Just putting that out there. Listener, write in. Does Alex have gay thoughts? Write in. What are Alex's gay thoughts? Do you think Alex is so overexposed to gay culture at this point? He for him, gay has become associated with work. So in a Pavlovian way, even if he wanted to be gay, he couldn't because he'd be like, ugh, Mondays. You know what I mean? All right. I think that's good enough. Thank you for listening. I mean that. I'm really grateful that you're here.